super psyched. And our runners are off. Getting started with this race. I'll be synced in just a moment. We'll get started right on the first 3 rooms, starting with the parlor. We'll extinguish the candles and get spooked by the paintings, and the fun begins. Alright, both runners completing the parlor at a pretty similar time. That's to be expected. Pretty simple room. We'll move on into the anteroom now, where things get a little bit tougher, where you have to set up doubles. And we introduce purple punchers, which have more health and are a little bit more aggressive. MrAfroman missed the double. You know, he's getting better suck-ups. That puts Hipoot ever so slightly in the lead. Went a little bit safe with that double, just to make sure he got it. Hipoot has a very clean anteroom otherwise. Ooh, that was pretty good double get for Hipoot. MrAfroman missing another double. Up break. Hipoot's got a really clean first 3 rooms. So he'll be moving on to the Portrait Ghost section of Area 1. Struggling a little bit with the key, but otherwise very clean. MrAfroman's only very slightly behind. At about 4 or 5 seconds. That can mean anything. So Hipoot going to study to set up for the Neville catch and set up that vacuum so he can grab him the moment he yawns and reveals his heart. See how his suck up is. It'll be a little bit annoying because that lamp is there, but still a very clean suck up. Good for him. Pretty clean suck up for MrAfroman too, so he's keeping up. Area 1 sets the tone, but any lead you get in Area 1 can easily be lost or gained further. MrAfroman runs into a mouse. It's actually a good thing because he actually drops some coins. MrAfroman getting a little bit of lag, it looked like, in Lydia's room. Okay, just a slightly slower suck up. Hipoot's going to lead our way into the nursery where we'll be getting Chauncey. Oh, he's going for an older setup. Kind of a fun way of doing it. It's a setup I used to do, but I feel like this setup where you move back and grab the ball is a little bit more consistent, but that's the way you're used to. More power to you. All right, we'll see how the runners handle Chauncey. One of the easiest bosses in the game, but very specific positionings required to get it right. Runners will be moving to each side to make the rocking horses attack you as soon as possible, and then he's going to set up his position to catch the first ball. This is the first catch. It was pretty close. That might give MrAfroman some time to come back a bit. MrAfroman gets the catch. Take intentional damage here to lose some coins. We'll want to lose some coins because there's a money count at the end of the area, which it's faster if you don't have any money and it gets skipped entirely. It's also faster if it doesn't have to go through as many pieces of different money that you have. Hipoot did grab some pearls. I think MrAfroman did as well, but I'm not 100% sure. Damage is taken there intentionally for invincibility frames, so you can easily catch that ball. If you don't have the invincibility frames, Luigi will take damage, and it's slightly slower, like 1.5 seconds. All right, both of them have a pretty clean Chauncey. And Hipoot's only got about looks like a 5-second lead going into Area 2, which that can change really easily just because of RNG. Runners have relatively close PBs, 59:45, and MrAfroman has a 1:53, about a minute apart, just over a minute apart. So this could be anyone's race. We'll see if that gap is meaningful at the end of Area 2, because Area 1 is pretty short and simple. And your lead can break due to small mistakes. So we're gonna introduce the white grabbers, and they don't do any damage, but they can be a little annoying to deal with. However, we'll use their grabbing to our advantage so we can set up our position for a double. All right, both of them got that double. Very nice. So now we'll go into the ballroom, which is the first piece of RNG, with the next portrait ghost floating Rolindas. And then we have the Shy Guys, which is also one of the first pretty difficult segments of the run. It's definitely one of the harder ones for the new runners. He didn't get the scare skip there, but he got the double. That was pretty close. MrAfroman does get the scare skip, but he misses the double. That was a pretty tough double for Hipoot, but he got it. So he's got some interesting setups to working with. He's reacting pretty well. Yeah, that was a really solid Shy Guy segment for Hipoot. MrAfroman struggling a little bit to get the doubles. This sometimes the setups can be pretty tough, and we'll see if Hipoot gets early release here. Which will save him 10 seconds. He does, so that gives him a good 10-second save. Wasn't really in an ideal position at the end, but that's all right. And we'll see if MrAfroman gets early release, which that'd be good, so they're not getting a time gap due to RNG. Yep, they both get early release. That's good. All right, we're gonna storage room. There's a cool little trick here called poster skip, where your vacuum can go through the wall and you can suck up the poster through the wall, which saves us some time from sucking up the poster after we push the button. Alright, let me get poster skip. You can tell by how quickly Luigi steps trying to suck up the poster. So Hipoot's having a very clean run right now, so far. I was close when I thought Afroman had that double. Surprised he didn't. It's a 10:02 Boo release. So good time for him. A good time in general. And now we're getting into the Boo section, where the RNG really starts kicking in, because they can hide in a number of different pieces of furniture in the room, and it's randomly determined. So if you don't get a good piece of furniture, it can cost you some time. You also have to read the Boo radar, which is has a learning curve on its own. Yeah, you're right. There's a pretty close race so far. This is still anyone's race. It's like one slight mistake from Hipoot, and Afroman could take the lead. And also with the Boos, there's getting the fake Boo, which is either a bomb or a ball, and you have no way of knowing. Alright. Boo is in the tablecloth, which is pretty good RNG, and don't get to do the tech skip, however. You actually saved there, which is slower, but if you're trying to mash text really quickly, you can sometimes save by accident. Afroman gets the ball. He actually does not get very good RNG here, but he does have tech skip opportunity. He bonks into the Boo, too. He doesn't, unfortunately, do the positioning, couldn't get tech skip. That was very unfortunate. Very solid RNG for Hipoot going in to the first 3 Boos. Good anti-room RNG. Dropping some frames there, unfortunately. Couldn't see that wonderful Boo catch. We're going to skip the rest of the Boos in Area 1 because we have to, go back there in Area 3. Oh, we might get attacked here. Ooh, we dodged it. That was nice. If that happens to me, I always get hit. Hipoot's got very solid RNG for the first 5 Boos. Got a 1251 5th Boo catch. Afroman with a little bit more average RNG. Some rooms good, some rooms not so good. This room was pretty good. See how his ballroom RNG is, which that can cost you a lot of time. It's in the. It can sometimes be in the painting, which isn't fun. Again, pretty average RNG. Here's another very important room, the mirror room, because you have the mirror grabber ghosts who are invisible except for the mirror, and except for in the mirror, excuse me. And then you have to do a trick called Fire Warper. That's what I call it, at least. Where you grab the fire metal right after catching the Boo and save warp, which saves time in dealing with the fire metal text box. Saves about 6 seconds. And that could be a little bit tricky to set up, because the Boo can decide to be in a really bad position. You have to be sure you don't suck up the fire metal while sucking up the Boo, because if you do that, then the Boo will escape into the fortune teller room, and that's no good. Missed the double here, but recovered pretty well. Ghost didn't disappear, that's always good. Struggling finding the Boo right now. Auto locking on the heart, that's never fun. Oh, bonked into the Boo. Yes, see, that's what I mean with the positioning. But Boo. Oh, he didn't get it. Oh, no, he did. I lied. He got it right last second. Usually you can tell by the sound if he gets it. But had me going for a minute. He must have been on it by a pixel. I was thinking using the air of the vacuum, just so we can keep his angle on him right, but without sucking up the fire metal by accident. Had a little trouble finding the boo there, but he played that room out pretty well. So now we're going to do the butler. And while the butler's running to his room, we're going to do the laundry room, which is not a required room, but we need to have enough boos, because if you do only the required rooms in areas 1, 2, and 3, you'll get 19 boos, but you need 22 access boo losses at the end of area 3. But we actually do 2 non-required rooms, because the boos have very low health in area 2, so it saves us time to actually catch them and do the room. So this room's very important, because if you take too long to do it and the butler disappears, you have to go all the way back to the hallway and light his candle again and do the whole segment, which wastes a lot of time. You open the chest, because when you enter the room again, there'll be a short cutscene showing you, hey, there's a chest here that you haven't opened yet, and that wastes time. It's got a very clean laundry room butler segment. And where he's going to set up mouse hole glitch, I believe. Yeah, he's on JP, so he's going to set up mouse hole glitch, where if you... or mouse hole tech skip, I don't really know the name. Unfortunately, Pearls were messing with him because he locked onto it in the boos, and the boo moved as far away from the mouse hole as possible. But if you go through the mouse hole while catching the boo, you can skip the text, which saves you a few seconds. But unfortunately, the boos and the Pearls were not working with him very well. He went for that room without taking care of the gold bats. They can mess with you sometimes. He didn't get the tech skip either, which actually surprised me. Like, he was in there. So neither of them got the first mouse hole skip. I thought MrAfroman was on the US version for a second, just because he wasn't getting it. But because that glitch doesn't work on the US version. Auto-locking on the heart. Yeah, Luigi's vacuum auto-locks on a lot of the objects in this game, which can make catching boos very frustrating when there's objects hanging around in the room, like pearls and hearts, and especially poison mushrooms. Now going into Melody's room. Gonna see what song he gets, either athletic theme or the water theme, or athletic theme from Super Mario Bros. 3 and water theme from Super Mario Bros. 1. And he gets the water theme, so it's gonna be the first choice on the when he gets the text window. And you can use fire or your vacuum to take care of the sheets. But most of the time you want to use fire, since if you use the vacuum, you have to actually suck them up, whereas the fire just extinguishes them. Perfect RNG on the boo. That was really nice. I didn't see what song he got. Sheets were working with him pretty well. This race is still really close, though. I mean, Hipoot has been carrying the lead, but they've never been more than 2 rooms behind, or 2 rooms apart, rather. So this is still anyone's race. Hipoot's a little bit low on fire, but he should be okay. So for those ice elemental ghosts, which I should have mentioned in the hidden room, they have their part is covered in ice, so you have to melt it before you can actually flash them. If you hit them with fire before their spawn animation finishes, they won't. You'll skip the animation of them taking damage from the fire, which saves you some time. Good read on the boo radar. Need you to go right. And yeah, and the door is on fire, so you have to extinguish it with water. And actually, it takes a few seconds before you can open the door, so you want to extinguish that before you catch the boo. And now for Spooky, we need to have him attack 3 times, and then Mr. Bones will appear. And then if you get hit the 3rd time, Mr. Bones spawns a little bit earlier, and he'll stop attacking, which is also good. And then that spawns his heart. And we'll see how Hipoot handles the skeletons. Go for one of the doubles. Yeah, unfortunately, the second skeleton didn't move toward the other one, so he has to go for the singles. So Mr. Bones for Afroman was on the left side. Now, I believe where Mr. Bones' spawn point is dependent on your position. It can be, I've seen 3 spots either on the left or like on the top right or the bottom right, or middle right rather. And he got the double there. That was good, using the flashlight stun lock trick. And now Hipoot's doing second boss Bogmire, which you can one cycle unlike Chauncey. So we'll see if he gets it. It's hard to one cycle, but you can still do it. You do need to be aware of your control on the ghost. You can tell by the way Luigi is handling the vacuum. You can tell if he's pulling or getting dragged. It's going to be a close one. Yeah, really close. Luckily, Bogmire was in a pretty good position. So, 2 cycle for Hipoot. See if Afroman gets a 1 cycle. So Hipoot's done with area 2. Has the green club key. Afroman's doing a pretty solid job controlling Bogmire. So it was a little bit slow, but that's okay. He got the 1 cycle. Great job. So I think that actually does save him a little time, or catch him up a little bit to Hipoot. Now they're going to be both going into the... So now they're going into... back to E-Guy's lab to turn all the portrait ghost to paintings. And your fun fact about Luigi's mentioned about the different paintings you can get. You're essentially ranked on the portrait ghosts. Did I say going into area 2? Whoops. Going into area 3. But the types of painting and the frames is kind of like a way to rank you. For non-bosses, you're ranked on the kind of pearls you get. And for bosses, it's dependent on how much health you have when you suck them up. Alright. So now we're going into area 3, where the sealed door was at the back of the hallway, going into the courtyard. And this area is all about getting Mario's dropped items. Is area 3 the worst area? I might actually agree with that. Alright, now we get to see what happened to Mario. And King Boo's very ironic plan. I don't know if ironic's the right word, but it's like, are you going to turn us into paintings while we turn Mario into a painting? Yeah, Area 3 is pretty important. Yeah. Do have to deal with a lot of RNG. To be fair, Area 4, I feel, maybe not as much, but... So he's pointing his water there to try to keep the purple bomber from spawning. He did not avoid that, but you can sometimes avoid the purple bomber from spawning there if you position your flashlight correct, or vacuum. And the treadmill drops a key, which I didn't know that for like my first couple years playing the game. So I would always go around the courtyard trying to get to the rest of the mansion. Yeah, there was a lot of things I didn't know in my first few playthroughs. And Hipoot's positioning himself so he'll be right where the chest is, which is on top of the table, using the flip pads. So you can see position himself so he would spawn right in front of the chest. So we need to do a little bit of fancy movement here, which sometimes you gotta grow to appreciate, because movement in Luigi's Mansion is pretty, I would say pretty simple. Position is king in this game. Little interesting boo catching there, but he made that work. So now he has the ice medal, and the ice actually freezes the boos, which is always fun. So you can actually stun the boo for an extended period of time using the ice. For man with a little bit rough RNG in the T room, RNG can be pretty tough there because the room is so big. That's where a lot of the tough parts of dealing with RNG are, and just dealing with the really big rooms. And now we have Nana's room, where you have to deal with the yarn balls, which has completely nonsensical movement, and if you miss and despawn it into a wall, she disappears and you have to start the room over. Very frustrating Portugos to deal with. And the worst part is I feel like she's a lot harder to catch than she looks. Sometimes mess with you. Now we have to see how the RNG is here. Hipoot's got very good RNG for this in this room. Struggling with the pearls though. We might lose this boo. Okay, he still got it, which was good. Auto-locking on the pearls is awful though, so you have to be really careful in that room. And Hipoot gets sound glitch, where the music doesn't spawn, and you need fire there to light the candles in the Astral Hall. Alright, MrAfroman positioned himself to be facing away from the pearls, which helped him a little bit. That's an important part about dealing with Nana's room. I didn't get the gold ghost to spawn. He had to reposition himself. Still gets the double though, pretty well. Just cost him about a second or so. And now we have the two mask ghosts and the white grabber. So he does a older strat for catching them, where you just catch the white grabber and then position yourself so they run right into each other. And the boo moved. Unfortunate. But he still read that very well. This room is really tough to read the boo radar, just because it can be in either the drawers or the candles. Alright, he goes for the catch and suck off the mask. Struggling a little bit with the masks, but he got... Oh, no, they despawned. That was unfortunate. So now he has to rethink how he's going to do this. He's probably going to have to go for singles. Ooh, he almost got hit, too. That was close. And then he gets hit. Yeah, it's a tough part about messing up the room because the original ghost spawn is predetermined, but where they spawn a second or third time is completely, is for the most part random, as far as I know. So you kind of have to play. Yeah, you have to do a lot of improv, and sometimes the positioning doesn't work very well. So you just have to settle for singles. Hipoot gets first try moonshot. So if you're trying to do it for the first time, your vacuum is not pointing where you think it is. So it can be a little frustrating, but we have a pretty solid setup to do it. You just got to deal with your C-stick. Looks like he barely... No, he got it, barely. It looked like it was going to miss for a second. So now both runners are about to have 3 of 5 Mario's dropped items, and now they're going to go back to Area 2 and Area 1 to get 4 and 5. Fourth one will be in the cinema room. And we're about to go through the third optional portrait ghost. Like in the dining room and in the rec room, these portrait ghosts are completely optional. You don't have to do them, and all you get is a gem, and we don't care about money in this category. So now we have the cinema room with the purple grabbers. They are invisible, except you can see them sort of using their shadows when you turn on the projector. But the shadows aren't very helpful, so you kind of just have to know their position and know their speed to get their position right. Oh, he does get the triple. I thought he missed it. The positioning of the ghosts were a little bit weird there. Definitely interesting boo movement there. I thought he was going to escape into the billiards room, which would have cost some time. All right, since we're done here, he's going to mirror warp into the foyer and then go back to Area 1 to collect the boos that we skipped before and then do the twins room. All right, MrAfroman gets the triple 2. See if he gets good RNG. No, you got really good RNG. That was nice. Yeah, Hipoot's got really solid RNG this run. So that's why. So that's probably going to widen his gap slightly, and he got one. He had a long text, which now that you have 15 boos, EGAD will randomly decide to give you some fun hints, which do nothing for us except waste our time. So whether you get long text or not is completely random. And now Hipoot's going to go cheat at hide and seek by using the vacuum, which causes the box to shake if one of the twins are in them. And then they're going to be annoyed at you for cheating and then attack. They're going to attack you. And the twins' names are Henry and Orville, which is a pun on Henry Ford and Orville Wright. So they are actually a multi-portrait ghost. So they're 2 separate... Wow, that poison mushroom spawned really quickly. I don't think I've ever seen a poison mushroom spawn that quickly. They usually take a couple seconds. So yeah, when dealing with the multiple portrait ghosts, it's predetermined who drops the pearls. For Henry and Orville, the red twin drops the pearls. So if you're playing for money, you want to get the red twin last, just in case you get hit by the car. And generally you... Oh, MrAfroman struggling a little bit, gets... Twin goes for a dive attack and hits him. Oh, it's from the light? Oh, that makes a lot more sense. But yeah, so some furniture can drop poison mushrooms too, and you don't want to get hit by a poison mushroom. What it does is make you shrink, and you can't use your vacuum or anything, so you're basically stuck for about 15 seconds saying Mario in a high-pitched voice, and it's nothing but a waste of time. But yeah, you can get them from Portrait Ghost or from furniture. So now that Hipoot has all 5 of Mario's dropped items, he can go to the fortune teller room, where the fortune teller will give a little bit of information about the mansion and Mario with each dropped item you give her, and then after the 5th one, she's like, oh, I have no more powers, so yeah, I can become a painting again, and she just lets you suck her up. And in Lydia's room, there's a pretty simple tech skip to go for. When the tech skip occurs, if you suck an object up after sucking up the boo, the game registers that you sucked up that object last and won't spawn the text. And that one's one of the easiest tech skips to get in the game. You can get a few in other rooms. Sometimes they're very dependent setups, or they're just really hard to get. Parlor, you can get if there are opportunities there, and I believe you can get a tech skip in both laundry room and the tea room, but they're a lot harder to set up. Tea room especially. And now there's just a lot of button mashing here. Fastest way to button mash in this game is by alternating A and B. So yeah, a lot of button mashing. Alright, now Hipoot's about to suck up the fortune teller. So she doesn't actually resist your vacuum at all, which actually makes her a little bit tough to, or a little trickier to suck up quickly. Because pulling doesn't always work. Oof. Yeah, you gotta be careful there. Because that boo just likes to run. So Pooh was playing a little bit high risk there, going for the key first. All right, it looks like the 9 o'clock match got canceled. So there will not be any more Luigi's Mansion after this. That's not fun. Luigi's Mansion's a fun game. So Poot's going into the 3rd floor Safari Room, and you need ice because we have water elementals, which are similar to the ice elementals we saw before. Getting hit by the bomb ghost, that's never fun. And the water elementals are similar to the ice elementals, that their heart's covered with water, and you have to get rid of it with ice beforehand. There are also fire elementals in this game, but we don't actually ever see them in a run because they only show up in 2 rooms normally, and in the blackout in certain rooms. But so you only see fire elementals in 100%. Because so this double over here is a little bit tricky to set up because your positioning has to be really good. But both of them got it pretty well. And it's a good idea stepping on the banana while sucking up the ghost, because while the ghost is being sucked up, you do have invincibility frames. But anytime in between that, you slip on the banana peel. And it doesn't matter if you step on the banana peel, excuse me, or if it hits your vacuum. you slip on it. Like if it hits your right arm, you slip on the banana peel. It's classic Nintendo logic. And now we're moving on to the third boss, Boolossus. One of the tougher bosses in the game, and can be a little bit of a nightmare for casual and newer people to this game. But luckily, we have a setup which manipulates all the boos to bunch up with each other so you can get them in one ice shot, or at least most of them in one ice shot. You have a few stragglers that just like to do their own thing. So we'll see that setup in action. This race is still really close. MrAfroman can easily take the lead in Area 4. This is pretty great how close this race is. Alright, so Hipoot's setting up his position, and now he's going to move left to get all the boos to move left with them, and hopefully they all bunch up. So you got most of them with that. So you just got to be careful. That boo's going out of bounds, so... Still got it. That was nice. Very clean one cycle for Hipoot. Just a little bit of struggle in getting that one out of bounds, but I think he played that out very well. Let's see how MrAfroman handles Boolossus. Also, with a very clean Boolossus, he actually had a faster one than Hipoot by a few seconds, but both of them had very nice one cycles. Now both of them will be heading into Area 4 with one of the greatest parts of the run, walking. Lots and lots of walking, or light jogging, rather. And then in between all that light jogging are some of the tougher rooms and some of the tougher boos. But we'll start off Area 4 with the blackout segment of the game, where once you unseal the Area 4 door, you trigger an event where lightning strikes the mansion, all the lights go out. So you get warned that the ghosts start going all over the mansion. But luckily, that's easy to deal with because this Safari room has a mirror on the south wall of the mansion that warps you right to the foyer. And then the portrait ghost you're looking for is in the wardrobe room. So you hardly have to travel through the mansion at all. You go through 5 rooms. And you can do the whole thing without spawning a single ghost if you position yourself correctly. And assuming both runners are using sidestep. Alright, so he's going to grab fire here. So, because when you go into the stairs, Luigi takes out his flashlight because this room's dark. And by using fire, you can skip that animation. You can also time your pressing of the L button to skip the animation. You're going to see, you've probably been seeing that happen when they go from a lit room to a dark room. So Hipoot's setting up his position, because right when the blackout starts, there's a gold ghost that spawns right behind you. So if you face him, he won't spawn. Yeah, the Safari room has actually a south wall mirror that you can't see normally. You can only see it when going into first person. So the mansion hides a couple of those mirrors. And other rooms that have that south wall mirror are the hidden room and the breaker room. I think those are the only rooms that have the south wall mirror. You generally don't see those used that often, though. Alright, so struggling a little bit avoiding the ghosts in there. And now we have Uncle Grimly, who, unlike Neville, which is specific timing, he can choose to show his heart whenever he feels like it. So it could be a few seconds or it can be a lot of seconds. And he's kind of just taking his time with the boot. Real? Okay. Ooh! Actually, I think he bonked into him. And Afroman has a much quicker Grimly than Hipoot. Luckily, after he disappeared, Hipoot got him again really quickly, but his lead that he's been slowly setting up from the start has pretty much vanished at this point. They're only about a second apart now. So this, like I said, the race wasn't over yet. Anything could have happened to close the gap, and it already happened. I didn't think it was going to happen that fast. All right, now we're going to turn on the breaker switch, and the blackout segment's over. So we need 40 boos to access King Boo. When you get the key to access the secret altar, you still need 40 boos, or King Boo is going to just warp you back to the foyer. So you have the option to get the boo in here, but it's a very tough setup because if you... I'm going to start again, like explain it better. If you R-pump, you can stun the boo 15 times in total before it fully escapes your grasp and just starts running away. But with very specific positioning and setups and a tougher tech called boo dragging, you can one cycle the breaker room boo, which has 200 health. So normally with R pumping, you can get 10 health for each pump. So without the Hipoot actually loses that boo with 2 health, which was unfortunate. So this actually puts Afroman in the lead now. Ever so slightly. Because now Hipoot has to go find that boo later. And he might end up in the cellar, or it might end up in the cold storage. And another point about that boo escaping is that he can't save warp, because if you save and quit, all the boos reset, so his health goes back to 100, which costs a lot of time. Yeah, Hipoot had a, I want to say like 10-second Gribling, and Afroman had like a 1.5 second. And yeah, and he got the bonk, which was really weird. And Afroman's actually ahead of him now, like moving into the clockwork room because of movement alone. And then he got the random bowling ghost scare, which you can't actually avoid. So if that ghost decides to spawn, you just lose that time. Was it 20? I wasn't counting the seconds. That felt like too long, though. But I wasn't counting the time. So now we have the clockwork room, which is 3 different portrait ghosts. So normally, the easiest way of doing that is just to get one at a time. But you can set up a double, which is definitely one of the harder tricks to do. Not really trick, but... And once you suck them up, you go up to the roof, which has another set of Shy Guy dancing doubles, dancing pairs, I guess. And then, but we have fire, so we can just burn them. Ooh! So he was holding down L all the way, which you don't always want to do because sometimes Luigi will shoot out a ball of fire. And then during that, he got bonked by, or he didn't bonk, he actually got hit by the staff. So Afroman's lead is getting even bigger now. Hipoot did not have a very fortunate roof. So This should be an interesting upset, or not upset, or well, yeah, upset or comeback. So now they're going into the armory, which is one of the laggiest rooms of the mansion. So I can mess with your muscle memory, especially dealing with the Boo, because the Boo has 150 health exactly, so you have to R-pump almost perfectly. Or just be fully aware of your positioning. So yeah, if you hit a ghost with an element that reduces their health by 5, I hope Hipoot's aware. He skipped the garbage can ghost. I wonder what he's going for here. MrAfroman's struggling a little bit with this triple, so he's probably just going for a safer setup. Yeah, he's just going to burn them all. Oh, he did get the garbage can ghost. I guess he got that first. So, alright, so now we have to deal with the Boo, which is spawned because of the way this room is just made. RNG can be really annoying here, but luckily the two spawning points were pretty close to each other. And because this room is so laggy, you often have to R-pump the Boo a little slower than you normally would. You might lose it. Yeah, because of the double cackles. I think there was a double cackle on MrAfroman too. Yeah, okay, so both of them went into the hallway. And you want it to go left because you can't catch a Boo in a dark room. Alright, and now... Oh, and it went right on MrAfroman, which is not fun. So you have to hope it goes up now. Alright. Did Hipoot save warp? If he did, that means he has to redo the Stellar Boo from scratch. I was about to say, because of... Oh, MrAfroman getting a long text. I wasn't sure if it was Vanguard. Not sure if he saved warp intentionally, but if you lose this Boo, you often want to just use the mirror in the armory. But yeah, he did save warp. But he might, I have a feeling that was just muscle memory, because muscle memory can mess with you. So gap widened, and it's now Hipoot's lead again, ever so slightly. This could come down to King Boo. So yeah, this room is completely not required because the key is just covered by the water. So you can just close the valve, grab the key, and go. But the grabbers can make this room a little bit annoying. But luckily, you have the ice so we can freeze them. And then we have the green blobs, which are really aggressive ghosts. I'm not a fan of the blobs. This is really close. Alright, Wested, which is one of the tougher ghosts to one cycle. Probably the toughest ghost to one cycle in this category. Probably the toughest in general. Oh, gets hit by the ice. So, unfortunately, he goes back into the ice. And... Alright, MrAfroman does not get the one cycle, and Hipoot does. Wow, this is crazy. Like, MrAfroman had the lead for a second, and it's gone again. It is so close. Alright. Got lucky with the Boo spawn. Alright, and he had good Boo positions too. A little bit of position trouble, but he reacted to that well. No double cackles. Oh, got the bonk. Still got no double cackles, that was really well played by Hipoot. MrAfroman did not get that as well, but... And he went into the cellar, which is a little unfortunate. All right. So now they're going to go into the artist room with Van Gore. And how Van Gore works is there's going to be a small cutscene, and then he's going to spawn ghosts from the paintings, 3 of each. Oh yeah, you're right. Hipoot has sound glitch. So he's got no more sound. Hipoot opened the wrong door, which is interesting. He actually opened a fake door, which damages Luigi and does that really interesting animation. I wonder what he was going for there. Was he just closer to that door than he thought he was? I'm not sure. So you see all the paintings of the different types of ghosts, and he's going to spawn 3 of each. And some of these are easier to set up triples than others, so we'll see how he handles Van Gore. And once you catch all of the triples, trios, Van Gore will show us hard you can suck him up, and then you get the key to the secret altar. MrAfroman went for a little bit safer triple setup. A very clean suck up from the booze. And now we have the red grabbers, which is one of the tougher triples. That was really good. Nice. MrAfroman gets them as well. And now the next set of hard ones are the garbage can ghosts. And then the purple bombers, you just hit them with fire. All right. Both runners with very clean Van Gores. This race could come down to both this Boo and King Boo. This is pretty nuts. Not the cleanest suck up from MrAfroman, unfortunately. Van Gore's movement was a little bit annoying. $142, very good first cycle for Hipoot. See if we can get a 2 cycle. Yeah, he's gonna bonk. Hipoot bonked 2, so he might end up with a 3 cycle. MrAfroman going for a slightly safer 2 cycle, which might work in his favor. Ooh, Hipoot gets a Van Gore text. Which actually puts him in the lead. So yeah, Hipoot got the very ironic Van Gore text where EGAD tells you about Van Gore after you've already sucked him up. So Hipoot can bank EGAD at the end of this race. But just that text box alone put MrAfroman in the very slightest lead. So this race is completely determined by King Boo now, and by movement. Look at this. This is crazy. Look how close they are. And now they're perfectly synced thanks to the bombs movement. Like I feel bad for the people who are not watching this race right now. This has been a this area 4 has been a roller coaster. And I hope everyone is having fun watching this go back and forth as I have. So this race is completely down to King Boo. see if both of them can come home with a 2-cycle. Because if one person gets a 2-cycle and the other doesn't, that's the race. Ooh! Hipoot loses the boo. And MrAfroman has a really good first cycle, 247. This might be it. If MrAfroman can clutch the 2-cycle, that's it. Very unfortunate first cycle for Hipoot. See what happens. That's it. Hipoot opts to go for the fast 2-cycle, which I don't think he had much of a choice because 295. It was very unlikely that he was going to get the 2-cycle, but just like that, MrAfroman takes the race right at the very end. The 101.31. And Hipoot finishes with a 101.58. Barely 27 seconds difference. And that's just because of the choice of the fast 3-cycle rather than the 2-cycle. And yeah, you're right. Like if MrAfroman did not get the 2-cycle, he would have had to do a slow 3-cycle, and then that means Hipoot would have done it. That was a crazy race to see. If both runners would like to come up and do a quick interview, feel free. But that was a great race to watch, guys.
Hello.
Hello, MrAfroman. Welcome.
Hi.
So, how are you feeling at the moment?
I honestly don't know because I was pretty. I was kind of upset at the beginning, and then to get that ending, kind of immediately changed my mood. From like, how did I get that?
Yeah, I mean that area 4 though.
I mean, yeah, I'm only glad that was the one mistake that happened. Otherwise, I don't know. But no, like area 2 was garbage. My area 1 was pretty trash too. I just had to. Yeah. I was just kind of upset at the whole run.
Yeah, no, I've been there before, and I definitely feel where you're coming from. I feel like, oh, this is over. But
and I feel like I honestly don't feel like I even deserve this win.
Yeah, that's how it happens with a game like this. It takes a little bit of bad RNG, and suddenly someone else has the lead.
Yeah,
but that's how it goes. But I mean, you played late game out pretty well.
Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't mess up Boo losses because I knew I would struggle at times just on that fight.
A very clean Boo losses though. That was really nice.
Mm-hmm. And that King Boo, that first cycle, that shouldn't. I feel like that it shouldn't have been a 248 or 246 because I feel like he was supposed to cut off way earlier than he did.
Yeah, I mean,
it was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, but I definitely feel where you're coming from. I mean, like I said, good for you for sticking through it.
Yeah, at least the good thing, this whole race was pretty interesting because I didn't expect to be this close at all. Oh man.
Yeah. All right. It looks like Hipoot will not be joining us for an
All right.
interview, and since you've won, you'll be advancing to the next losers round where you'll be facing up against Joven.
Yeah,
How do you feel?
so that's this week, right?
I believe so. Yes.
All right, great. Now we're all cut up.
Yeah, I think for the most part.
All right. Well,
Yeah, all right.
Well, I'm gonna go. Thanks for the race. GG's.
Yeah, GG. Thank you for joining. Just a quick little update of the schedule. The Luigi's Mansion race today will not be happening. Today, all at 9 o'clock, will not be happening. Be replaced by Super Mario Bros. 3. I believe Warpless Run. I think I was reading about before. Other runs going on. There's going to be a Celeste run at 10 o'clock. I think that's it for today. So thank you guys for watching. I hope everyone has a good night.